What's going on, guys? Happy Super Bowl Sunday. I wanted to just hop on here and just no thumbnail, no edit, no post-production, no any of that stuff. I wanted to come on and just share a quick message of something that's been on my heart recently, something I think can help you guys. So I got a letter in the mail last week, like a lot of people are getting right now, especially my fellow entrepreneurs, content creators, etc. And it was a tax document. And I'm not going to show it. I'm not going to show you my social security number so you guys can steal that on your own dime. But what came in the mail this weekend was a bit of a blow to me, and I wanted to get real honest and raw about how I felt about that, because I know a lot of you guys are probably in similar shoes. So I'm an author. For those who don't know, I've written 2 books. I have another one coming out in 4 months in June, the capper to what I'm calling a trilogy that I've been writing about. I write about identity and values and a bunch of other things. Follow my Substack. My books are on Amazon, whatever. And all this started with my writing. All this started with me wanting to become an author, wanting to sell books, wanting to go out into the world and make an impact with my thoughts, with my mind, and hopefully engage in topics that I thought were important to talk about, important to me, important to a lot of people, that I felt needed to be discussed in the broader culture. And that's what I wanted to do. And I eventually got my first book deal. I was 23, I think. I'm 27 now, just turned 27 in October. And I got my first book deal when I was 23, published my first book, Value Economics, which I later based a bunch of things on, including my business, including my writings, including my community, all that stuff on the back end. And I published that in almost 3 years ago now today, so when I was 24 years old. And I remember I thought this book was going to be my big break. I thought my book was going to make me really rich and really famous and really noteworthy. And not because I wanted to be famous per se, because I know fame is very overrated in many ways, but I thought the ideas were good. And I thought we needed to start a conversation about values and a conversation about where things were going in our culture, particularly among young people. And so I published the book, and the book does pretty well. It's a 2-time #1 bestseller, and people say that they love it and everything else. And I remember I got a royalty check about a year later that was going to be the following year's worth of revenues from the book. And it was for a little over $100. $100 from the sales of my book. And it was a really hard reality check for me, because I had invested at that point $45,000 more to make the book. And I had a negative ROI that was in the low percentages. And this one was for my second book that I created. That was for all of 2024, recording this on Super Bowl Sunday in February of 2025. So this is all the sales of all my books, both of them. So I have twice the product, twice the sales, twice the volume, twice the audience. And this check was for $24.50. And I put another $15,000 into publishing this book. 0.00018 ROI. I lost everything on both books. And I have a third one coming out in June, which I put more money into. In fact, more money that I put into making this book right here. $24, a little over $100 prior. And I made some money beforehand from the first start of the surge sales, whatever. But less than $150 in the last 2 years from selling my books. Lost all my money. Dumped everything I had into it. My heart, soul, time, blood, sweat, tears, trusted people, publisher blew up, bunch of things going wrong. I lost everything. Lost all my money, lost all the things that I worked hard for. And that was a bit of a hard reality check for me, because it just shows that no one really cares. No one really gives a shit about what I'm doing. And that's not to victimize myself, but it's a really hard lesson for a lot of people to learn. I keep getting reminded of it very, very often. So why am I making this video? Is because I think people need to realize that even though you dump everything inside of a project you want to do, you dump all the hard work, the blood, the sweat, the tears, the money, the finances, the time, the lost relationships, the time with the people that you love, etc., you could still lose. You could still lose. That's the part of this thing they don't tell you. That's the part of working hard they don't tell you. That's the part of entrepreneurship they don't tell you, is that you could put everything you have into it, and people can still not give a shit. And people could still throw you out in the street and not care and say that all your work is for nothing. And that's something you have to be okay with. That's something you have to be okay with. And the fact that I can't stand about the entrepreneurial space today, about the independent creator space today, is that no one tells this to anybody. No one tells it to anybody. And so many people get screwed by a bunch of greedy people who want to tell people that it's going to be fine and you're going to make it and your dreams are going to come true and you're special and you're this and you're that. No, you're not. You're not special. You're just like everyone else. You're just like me. I'm not special either, clearly, based on this document alone. Your big break's probably not going to happen. Nothing is going to magically appear for you out of the blue. You're not going to go from obscurity to being the most well-known person in the entire world, probably. It's just not going to happen. However, you should still try. And here's why you should still try. Because even though I've lost all my money on every single creative project that I've done, every YouTube video almost, every book, everything that I've ever really put together inside of my life, I still have a great life. I still have a business that I love. I still love writing. I still love podcasting. I still love making videos. I still love talking to people about values and the things that I care about and the things that I think are important. And I think that if you're watching this video to this far in the video, rather, you have something like that too. Maybe multiple things, and that's awesome. And you should continue to do those. And you shouldn't let anyone get in your way. But just know there is a price to be paid for doing the thing that you dream. That's why so many dreams die. That's why so many dreams die, is because people don't want to take the pounding. They don't want to take the shots to the stomach. They don't want to take people laughing at them and saying that they're a failure and saying that they suck and saying that everything they created means nothing, does nothing, whatever. That's why dreams die. And that's why I'm not going to let mine die, because I have too much invested in this stuff. I have too much invested. Big time corporate career, down the toilet. My choice. I don't regret it. Lost friends because of things that I've wrote, fine. Family members don't like me for things I write, fine. But I owe it to myself, and you owe it to yourself to keep going, because you've put too much work in. And if you haven't put the work in, don't expect to get the price back. Don't expect to make money. Don't expect to get notoriety. Don't expect your ideas to be out there in the public sphere. Stick to your values. And if you're not willing to put your money, to put your resources, your time, your effort where your mouth is, then stop expecting shit to randomly happen for you. Stop. Do yourself a favor. But if you're willing to put the work in, know that it's going to pan out in the end. Or hope that it's going to pan out in the end. You don't know. I don't know. My business could die tomorrow. But you owe it to yourself to try. But to do that, you have to be willing to lose everything now to gain everything you do want later. Thanks for watching, guys.